welcome to Scrappin with Sheri. Now you're going to think I have totally lost my mind, and yes, as a scrapbooker I probably have, but my daughter called a few minutes ago and said, "Hey Mom, we're going to get a new cat." Their cat disappeared after they moved to a new house, and they haven't been able to find him for many weeks, and they've decided it's time to get a new one. So I immediately started thinking, oh, what do I have for this new cat pictures, because I'm sure I'm going to get some later today. So I pulled an older pack. It's called Bark and Meow. It was a designer paper pack with 12 sheets in it, and I had used some of it before when they first got their cat, so I don't have tons of it left. This came out in February of 2022. So like I said, I don't have all of it left, but I want to show you the pieces I know I want to use today. Now the good thing about this paper pack was that it was cat on one side and doggish on the other. And I like the fact that you didn't really waste anything. If you're a cat person, you got all the cat side. If you're a dog person, you got all the dog sides. And you're not really losing a print. Now, I do still have several left because they don't take a lot of pictures. They didn't take a lot of pictures of their other cat. But I really love these two prints particularly. I like all the words on this one, and I love the little paw prints here. So let's get started. Now, because of the way these were and because of what I have left, I don't have any two papers to use as a background page. And I decided to pull some that I had from another pack. Whoops. And this is from the silver and gold pack, I believe. And it's just got a little grayish dot all over it, which I felt like looked good with the grays that are in here. So we're going to use that as our background papers. But these two prints we're going to use to make a couple of cuts. So my first cuts I want to make on the paw prints. Now these paw prints are not necessarily directional. They kind of go up and over. So I'm not obviously concerned about the direction on that. But I'm going to slide this in. I think I am going to make the paw prints so they're going upwards. But here's some that go this way. I don't think it matters on this. And I'm going to cut off 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to chop off that 1.5 there. That leaves me with 10.5 here. And I'm going to cut that into a 4-inch section. So I'll have a 4-inch and an 8-inch on that. So that one is done. I do want one more print. And I'm trying to decide if I want to go this bold. And I think I do. So this one is more directional. And I'm going to turn it and cut it off. So it is a 5-inch. I'll put it on my 5-inch mark. So I've got a 5-inch. And here again, I'm going to cut it at 4. So I have a 4 and an 8-inch piece. So I had a 4 and an 8 of this, which is 10.5 by 4 and 8. This one is 5 by 4 and 8. And then this that I love the words on, obviously it is very directional, but I'm going to go ahead and make 2 1.5-inch borders for this one. So I'm just sliding that to my 1.5 mark, and I'm cutting that twice. And that'll be borders on this page. Now, mind you, I don't have the pictures yet, but you'll probably see the finished layout with pictures because I have a feeling she'll send them to me this afternoon. So let me move my trimmer aside and let's start laying this out. Now, I did go ahead and pull my border maker system out because I had this cute little paw print cartridge and I felt like I might want to use that, but who knows? We'll see once we get going, huh? So I'm going to lay this big paw print over here. I'm going to do the smaller paw print on this side. And then I'm going to even that out. This was a 4-inch wide. This is an 8-inch. And together those two will go all the way across my page. And then we'll just do the opposite on the opposite side. Now, I thought initially I would absolutely love this, but I don't. And you can probably tell why. There's not enough contrast between this and this to really make my paw print stand out. So let's see what we could pull that would make this a lot prettier. I'm thinking let's pull some blue cardstock for our background. Now, fortunately for me, I just got an order in the other day that had more blue cardstock in it because I go through this like water. Let's try this. Oh, look how good the contrast is on that. It just really makes the blues on the little paw prints pop. And you can see the blues on this print as well. Vast difference from putting on that gray and white, isn't it? All right, so we've already changed that. Let's look at our border pieces and what we could do with those border pieces that we cut. Now, I'm kind of sliding this up to the top because I'm thinking I want a border along the bottom edge. And you can tell I'm not really sticking anything yet. I'm just looking at the layout, at the look of it right now. But I'm kind of thinking that I might want this to go along the bottom and just kind of even out the differences here. So keep a thin border there, keep a thin border here. And when I say border, I'm talking about my background page. So I'll add that there. Now, I think one thing that kind of bothers me a little bit, and not a whole lot, but a little bit, is the fact that this paper is very brown for a base, whereas this one looks more black as a base. So I think I want to set those two apart a little bit. That's why I did the spacing. But I think this is where the Border Maker cartridge will come in handy. So let's pull out our paw print. And I could go a couple of different ways on this. I could go with the red because there's a good bit of red on here. The only problem I have with that is then it makes it feel patriotic to me. So I had thought I would like to pull a piece of this orange. There is orange in all of these little things. And the red kind of looks orangey. There are little orangey paw prints. And this is an orange shimmer paper. So I'm going to go ahead and try a border with this. And we'll see what it looks like. You know, it's paper. If we don't like it, we won't use it, right? And if you don't know how to use the Border Maker system, there is a whole other video about using it that I think is pretty helpful. Now, this is one of those cartridges that doesn't come off. It stays on the paper. So then we'll need to trim it off. Normally I would go ahead and punch both. I would punch on each side of the paper. But I want to go ahead and trim this off and just see if we like it before we do another one. And I'm trying to get my spacing pretty exact. So I think I'm going to go 1 1/8 to make that cut. Now, that's what will work on this particular cartridge. You just kind of have to eyeball that and figure it out for yourself as to how wide you need to make those. Now, what happens if I put that across there? It does do a good job separating these two. The only thing I don't like is that right here, I am seeing all that through. So, let's pull our cover sheet from our paper pack. And I'm just going to cut a 1 1/8 for this too. And the reason I'm doing it exactly the same is I don't really want it to show around the outside edges of my border. I just want it to keep those paw prints inside there. Hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm liking the look of that. We could go up a little more here even. So let's go ahead and cut a 1 1/8 while we've got our trimmer out for our other side. And we'll go ahead and make one more border. Fold the tray out. I'm using orange shimmer for this. I'm sliding the orange shimmer in. And then I'm just lining up the cartridge housing to go straight down through here. And you know what? I made one of those mistakes that I sometimes do. Look at that. It's way off, which means I obviously didn't get it lined up straight in the paper tray, or I didn't cut my paper straight when I cut it off. One or the other. Let's cut it off and go again. Like I said, it's paper, you know, and sometimes we mess it up. So when I line it up, I need to get it all the way across in my paper tray. I'm not sure what happened on the first one, but it must have slid, or I did something wrong. We all do that, right? We all make mistakes. And remember, we cut this at 1 1/8 on our trimmer. So I'm going to cut that at 1 1/8. We'll need that one. And I think we're finished with the cartridges, with the border maker system, with the cartridges. So I'm grabbing my little silicone mat and my repositionable tape, and I'm just going to adhere these paw prints to that white strip we created. Now remember, the purpose of the white strip was just to make it easier to see what we had going on underneath there without the pattern showing through. This is not necessarily for a decorative element, although looky there, it looks like I cut it wrong again, because you can see the white on the outside edge, but we'll take care of that. So we've got that one. You probably want my paw prints going right across my page. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm sure that's how that little cat's gonna be. Its little paw prints are gonna go right across their world. I know they've been kind of sad since their other one disappeared. They have called people multiple times. They put out flyers in their neighborhood. They've gone to all the shelters. They've called everybody. And so far, he has not come back. All right, so let's lay this back out, make sure we've got it all nice and neat. I'm going to leave a touch of a border there. I want a little bit of a border showing at the bottom, a little bit of my background page. And then this border is going to butt right up against that. And we'll kind of center this top to bottom, or maybe I'll go one side or the other. Maybe I'll go up with that, because that would be a great place to put a photo right there. And then let's just lay out this side exactly the same. And here again, that gives me a nice space to put a photo here. Now remember, I said I could cover up this white that I've got showing around the outside edge of this border, and I can do that just by layering this on top of that white. Once I tape this, this page is ready for all their new kitten photos. That's a pretty quick layout. This would work well with lots of different kinds of papers. And I'm going to leave this one right here. When you see it, it should have cat pictures on it, because they will have gotten their new cat, I hope. But this is it for now. I don't have any embellishments to go with this particular paper pack, and I'm okay with that. But I will probably use my silhouette machine to cut its name and place that somewhere on this page. So you'll see the finished product at the end of the video, probably even at the beginning of the video. But remember, the cuts are easy, and it doesn't take a lot of time to do this page layout. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll try it with some of your own papers. Until next time, happy scrapping.